everybody, and welcome to the Bob Stoops app. I'm Brad McMullen, along with Hall of Fame football coach Bob Stoops, and we're talking about week number 5, and let's jump right into it. Arguably the game of the week, number 8 Arkansas at number 2 Georgia. The line on this game, interesting. Georgia favored by nearly 19 points.
I tell you, if I'm not a betting man, but I'd take Arkansas with the points. I think it'll be a tight game. I do believe Georgia's a little bit too strong. For Arkansas overall, the defense for Georgia is just unbelievable. But I believe it'll be closer than that. I believe it'll be a tight game. KJ Jefferson, the Arkansas quarterback, can make some plays. And, Arkansas being kicked around for the last several years, got a strong football team. They'll show up and continue to make a statement, I believe.
Yeah, I was so impressed not only with the way that Arkansas played Texas, but the way that they played physically against Texas A&M. It was not a surprise to Texas A&M how good Arkansas was on that Saturday. And I'm telling you, the upside for that team, if they can stay healthy, it could be pretty special.
I thought that was a lock last week. I'd have taken Arkansas with those points in a heartbeat. And it played out that way. And A&M, to their defense, just losing their starting quarterback has really hurt them. And that's been a little bit too much to overcome, at this point anyway, against Arkansas.
All right, the other big game we're talking about, Ole Miss, the Rebels, on the road at number 1 Alabama. Alabama's looked very good, except for that Florida game this year. But you like the Ole Miss Rebels.
Well, Florida made big plays against Alabama. That's, they can be susceptible to that sometimes. Ole Miss creates big plays, and last year's game was a shootout. I don't know, 42-38, something along those lines. It was a very close, high-scoring game a year ago. I believe it will be again. Ole Miss's defense is a little better than last year than they were. They'll surrender some points, though, and Bryce Young, I think, for Alabama is just incredible. But this is the battle of the top 2 Heisman guys. And but Alabama can be susceptible to a really good quarterback and big plays, and that's what Ole Miss does. So I think this will be a big, a big high-scoring affair with a tighter game than what they say.
Do you think Ole Miss is going to pull out the upset?
I kind of do. I won't be surprised if Ole Miss goes in there and beats them.
There you go. That should be an exciting game. All right, number 7 Cincinnati at number 9 Notre Dame. The home team, Notre Dame, the underdog by 2.5 points.
Yeah, and I believe in Cincinnati and Luke Fickell, what they're doing there. Really solid, good football team. I believe Notre Dame, though, overall is going to be too big overall, physical, and will get the job done. They're coming off a big win. Kind of caught fire in the second half against Wisconsin last week. But I just think overall, Brian Kelly and what they're doing there, at Notre Dame will be too much for them. It'll be tight. It'll be which the line indicates. But I believe they'll find a way to make enough plays or turnovers to win the game.
Yeah, amazing. Notre Dame was trailing Wisconsin 13-10 going into the fourth quarter, and I think they're still scoring. So I think Brian Kelly just needs to say, hey, we're just going to start with the fourth quarter and just go on with that. All right, the Florida Gators, number 10 in the country at Kentucky, undefeated Kentucky, your brother's team. Florida favored by 9 points.
Yeah, that's. I'd like to say I'm going with Kentucky being my brother's team, but I believe it'll be a really tight game.
But Kentucky's good.
Florida, I think the tight score against Alabama is indicative of how good Florida is. And they have a lot of athletes, quarterbacks that can run and throw, strong team. And I don't believe that was a fluke or Alabama letting down any of that. Florida played to that level, and I believe they'll continue to play well. Kentucky's playing great. Not playing great, that's not the right way to say it, but they keep finding ways to win. But I believe this will be a really tight game, and you have to go with Florida in this.
Yeah, good team, but it will be rocking in Kentucky for that game. All right, 2 undefeated teams in the Big 12. Possibly a surprise here. Number 21, Baylor, fresh off of their big win against Iowa State. At number 19, Oklahoma State. OSU favored by 3.5.
Yeah, Mike Gundy's team continues to get better. Spencer Sanders, their quarterback, I think is probably, I haven't seen the game yet from last week, but has to be catching some rhythm. He missed the first game. That throws you off going into your second game. So I see Oklahoma State continuing to play well. Mike does a great job, and I think Baylor, again, doing a really good job too, but I believe Oklahoma State will find a way to win in a tight game.
All right, in the ACC, Clemson, who struggled mightily last week against NC State, falling in overtime, will host undefeated 4-0 Boston College. Clemson, a big favorite at 16 points.
I think it'll be tighter than that because I don't think Clemson's in a position to blow anybody out by maybe more than a touchdown or 10 points. So I'd give them the win, but I believe it'll be tighter than that with Boston College playing so well.
Fortunately, they have Brent Venables on defense
Yes.
to keep them in ball games. All right, Arizona State was shocked early on in the season, but they've rebounded nicely, now 3-1. Will be traveling to number 20 UCLA, who is also 3-1.
Yeah, I like UCLA and Chip Kelly, what they're doing. Nothing against Arizona State or Coach Herm Edwards, who's also doing a super job. But I think UCLA's for real. They're more physical. Come up with big plays, solid defense. I like UCLA in that.
All right, and now we move on to the SEC, the battle between two 3-1 Tiger squads as number 22 Auburn travels to Death Valley to take on LSU.
That'll be interesting. I really like what Auburn's doing. I thought they went into a whiteout at Penn State and played a heck of a game, and they lost in a tight game. But what Brian Harsin is doing there, I believe Auburn will win in this one. It'll be tough. Tight game. LSU's doing a better job than a year ago, for sure. But I like the way Auburn played in that whiteout and gave Penn State all they wanted. I think they'll probably have been more tested, and I think that'll help them.
All right, and you've got the LSU Tigers are actually favored by 3.5. All right, Oklahoma Sooner fans, Kansas State. This is an interesting team that has been a thorn in the side of the Sooners for many, many years. Kansas State has played Oklahoma extremely close. It's going to be at Kansas State, and the last time OU went up there, they lost with Jalen Hurts as their quarterback, who is now playing for the Eagles. Oklahoma favored by 10 on the road.
I think it's going to be a tough game. Kansas State's style, the way they play on offense, running the football, makes it hard for us defensively to move and stunt to give it problems. They have a style that I believe is harder for us to deal with. And if they take care of the football, it's going to make it harder. Offensively, can we catch a rhythm at OU and have some big plays? Again, that's Kansas State style, is to sit back and play those zones and not give you the big plays. So I see OU winning, and in a tight game, probably 7-9 points. It'll be a real challenge going up there, and I know this. OU will be ready. Kansas State always has your attention, but when they've beaten you back-to-back years, you better be ready to go up there and be ready for a really tough fist fight, and I believe OU will be ready for that.
This game reminds me of 5 years ago when Oklahoma started the season not so good play-wise. They were traveling up to Kansas State, playing a good team the year after Kansas State won, and you guys were stuck at the airport, right?
10 hours.
10 hours at the airport. And that game ended, 55-0? You guys were favored by like 3 points?
Remember pulling into we left at like 11, 12 o'clock. Sat at the FBO for 10 hours, had our meetings at the FBO. We sent out everyone who drove to the airport to meet us there. Whoever had a car, go get 8-10 meals of fast food, whatever. So we had a smorgasbord of fast food to feed everybody for lunch. And we got to the hotel, it was like 12:30 in the morning. And we had a quick 2-minute meeting with the team. And I said, look, guys, you're looking for an excuse not to play well tomorrow. You have it. Or we could say to heck with it. Now we're here, get whatever rest we can, and we're going to play our best game. And we came out and played our best game. I mean, we were flawless. And not that I want to do that every week. Wasn't going to take a chance.
Yeah, Lincoln, just keep them at the airport for 10 hours. You'll be fine.
But anyway, it really worked out that day. We played great, and it was 55-0, it could have easily been worse than that.
Yeah, and I don't. If my memory is correct, you didn't lose again, and you won the Sugar Bowl, beating Auburn that year and finishing an incredible season. Your last game of victory against the Auburn Tigers.
No, we caught a great rhythm, in the middle of the year, and like you said, struggled early, lost to Houston in the first game, but then that, I always say that the better teams get better through the year,
right.
And we sure did that season, and hopefully, where OU's at right now, that they can get better here in the last half of the season.
Yeah, I think if you've got great talent and you have great coaching, eventually those things work out. And I really believe in Oklahoma. And I'll say this, reading what Mel Kiper was talking about on the draft when it comes to Spencer Rattler, he still has him as his first-round pick. So you got a first-round pick at quarterback. You've got Kennedy Brooks, who's a great runner. We talk about the intangibles. Wide receiver core of Oklahoma could be one of the best it's ever been. This is a good football team, and they're going to figure it out.
Yeah, I believe so. I think, too, there's some pieces in the offensive line, tight ends with them that need to be worked out. And if they can get those worked out and guys step up and play a little bit better, I don't think we have a chance not to be far off, as we keep saying.
That's right. All right, so that is week number 5. The preview is going to be a lot of fun. And don't forget, you can win lunch with Coach Stoops, and he's going to pick up the tab. All you have to do is enter to win right here in the app. And again, for videos anytime, just click on our video tab 24/7. For Coach Bob Stoops, I'm Brad McMullen.